Central Administration Office. Now, some of the meetings, speaking engagements, events that have happened since the last update are, I'll just run through them. I was in Waterloo on Wednesday, October 14th, to take part in the service of the installation of Reverend Dr. Mark Harris as the Principal Dean of Waterloo Lutheran Seminary. On October 15th, we had some students visit our community from Braemar Public School in Brantford, and I thought that was very enjoyable as they want to learn more about who we are as Haudenosaunee people. On September 17th, the Children's Safety Village in Brantford celebrated its 10th anniversary, and we've had our kids go up there for quite a few occasions, so I was happy to take part in that event. Later that same day, the Six Nations Police Station was dedicated in the memory of our former chief and the former chair of the Police Commission, Wellington Stotts. That evening, I, along with some other members, also attended the Crime Stoppers Sip and Dine event in Brantford. On October 18th, we had the 175th anniversary of the Ohsweken Baptist Church, and that was immediately followed by our annual Veterans Day ceremony, which was held at Veterans Park, and several councillors also attended that. The same day, we attended the celebration of the Kahawi Dance Theatre's 10th anniversary, which Santi Smith and her dancers did a performance from the honoring. It was fantastic. Later in the month, on the 21st, I attended the Dewa Desne Health Act Centre's gala, which was held in Hamilton. And the next night after that was the Dreamcatcher Gala, which myself and several councillors also attended. On October 24th, I attended the Mayor's Gala, Mayor Friel's Gala in Brantford, which was held to raise funds to support the SPCA. At the end of October, I attended a special Chiefs of Ontario Assembly in Thunder Bay, and it was talk about energy and the possible purchase of shares in Hydro One by the First Nations in Ontario as a collective. The Chiefs gave direction for a negotiating team to go ahead and start negotiations and see whether there will be any merit in moving forward in purchasing any part of Hydro One. I also stayed there for a couple of days for a retreat with the Political Confederacy of the Chiefs of Ontario. And when I returned, I joined Health Services staff for a meeting with the Assistant Deputy Minister of Health, who was here in our community to get to know the staff and also to tour all of our facilities. On November 2nd, we held our annual General Assembly at the Community Hall, where we provided an update of our achievements and challenges to the community, as well as our annual audit. By the way, our audit has been on our sixnations.ca webpage since August, when it was submitted to the federal government. So it has been out there for a while, and we just wanted to go through the process of presenting it to the community. Last week, on November 3rd, I was also pleased to take part in the fall convocation for Wilfrid Laurier University, which was held in Brantford. And then Councillors Carl Hill, Ray Miracle, and myself attended a Heritage and Burial Conference in Toronto. Joanne Thomas, Rose Miller, and Barb Harris were also attendees at that. And it was an important conference to talk about the repatriation of remains and artifacts of our ancestors. On the 5th of November, Councillor Sherry Lynn Hill-Pierce, Barb General, and myself also had the opportunity to meet with the Attorney General of Ontario, Madeleine Mayer. We wanted to inform her about our matrimonial real property law, to talk about the juries, and to also talk about possibilities of having our own justice system here at Six Nations. And last Friday, November 6th, was the proclaimed Random Act of Kindness Day. And I attended the opening event up at Braemar School, and then at lunch, myself and Victoria Reset and Carolyn from the Community Collaboration Committee were in the plaza to hand out cookies and donuts to people. And we also went over to the lodge and played bingo and had coffee and tea with some of the residents. And Victoria also went out and provided some donuts to the police and the ambulance and the fire station, just to do our part on the Random Act of Kindness Day. And on November 7th, I attended and brought greetings at the ThinkEvent annual lunch that was held at Assumption College in Brantford. This is always coordinated by the ThinkEvent committee, which is chaired by MPP Dave Levac. Councillor Bob Johnson is also on that committee, and I'm pleased that he was there, along with Councillor Ray Miracle, who helped in serving the meal to all the veterans. On November 11th, I am taking part in the Remembrance Day services in Brantford. Councillor Bob Johnson is taking part in Remembrance Day services with the students at Veterans Park, and Councillor Ray Miracle attending Remembrance Day events in the city of Hamilton. So during this Remembrance Day period, let's all remember to thank our vets and let them know that we will never forget. On Thursday, November 12th as well, I am having lunch with the Lieutenant Governor, Elizabeth Dowdeswell, and the Countess of Wessex. They've invited me to take part, and they're going to be talking about Aboriginal urban issues, so that's going to be an exciting event as well. Some of the upcoming events on November 17th is going to be Grade 8 Parent Information Night at the Community Hall from 6 to 8. So if you got a student in Grade 8 getting ready to go on to high school, that's the place to be. And don't forget our Firefighters Gala is coming up on November 18th at Michelangelo's in Hamilton. We've got, the sales are going very good, and we've got very few left, so if you're still interested, you can call Arlene Miracle here at our office. Social Services is also hosting a mystery dinner on November 19th at the Community Hall, and the Woodland Cultural Center is also having open tours of the former residential school at the same day, November 19th. On November 20th, there will be an age-friendly workshop in Paris. And later that evening, our early childhood educators and our daycare workers will be attending a conference in Niagara Falls, which is an annual conference where they recognize the good work of all of our early childhood educators and our daycare workers. And November 21st, Santa Claus will be here. Christmas is just around the corner, so we're having our parade on November 21st. And later that evening, the Woodland Cultural Center will be having a coffee house featuring a number of artists. I think the Ollivanders will be there on the 21st. That is, again, is also Suicide Prevention Day, and there will be a small dinner at Polytech that day. At the end of the month, I will be in Toronto for a political confederacy meeting on the 23rd. Then there is a Special Chiefs Assembly in Toronto on November 24th and 25th, and Councillors Carl Hill and Helen Miller are also planning to attend that. That will be followed by days in the legislature at Queen's Park, where the chiefs in the province will have an opportunity to meet with a number of cabinet ministers to discuss regional issues of concern to all of us. On the 27th and 28th, we are also hosting a community health forum with respect to traditional medicine, and this is also being co-hosted with McMaster University. So we're looking forward to that. It should be an exciting event. And the Mohawk Chapel will be having their Christmas service on December 6th. And myself and some councillors will then be going to Ottawa for the annual December Assembly being conducted by the Assembly of First Nations. There are also a number of community events. I've got so many things here. They're like 3 pages, and you can get them on our sixnations.ca website. There are a lot of services and programs that are run by health and social services and recreation. So check out the www.sixnations.ca, and you can see all of those community events on there. And finally, I'd like to extend congratulations to Darian Martin. She is the daughter of Lindsay and Steve Martin and the granddaughter of Jan Burning and Kevin Martin. She was awarded the 2015 James Bartleman Aboriginal Youth Creative Writing Award. And we're so proud of her. There were 6 awards given out through students throughout the province, and she received that award from the Lieutenant Governor last month. And also Laurie Gallant, who works up at Woodland Cultural Center, she received the Ontario Arts Foundation Artistic Educator Award. So we're really proud of both of them and all of our community members that when they receive these acknowledgements, and we just want to acknowledge the successes they've had as well. So that's it for this month, and we'll talk to you again in December. Yawa.